The school committee talks budget, math and science, and facilities on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, March 14th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. The school committee met at Town Hall Tuesday night. During the 2.5-hour meeting, a number of issues were discussed. A public hearing on the proposed fiscal 13 budget was held, and the committee also heard a presentation from Mort Orlov, president of the Massachusetts Math and Science Initiative. Superintendent Dr. Mary Chakowski gave an update on a recent staff survey, as well as the results of her recent meeting with Senator Dan Wolf.
Next, as you know, we had a district-wide survey that was conducted with our staff using K-12 Insight. And I'm in the process of meeting with each of the principals to talk about how we're going to disseminate the survey results. And our plan is to set up a voluntary staff meeting at each school. And there will be 2 presentations done. One will be with central office administrators, and the other will be with the individual school principal conducting school reports. We've begun the process of meeting with principals to discuss and set up those times. Also, last Wednesday, I had a very good meeting with Senator Dan Wolf at the State House to discuss the Chapter 70 funding formula, and this meeting was a result of Patrick setting up a meeting with myself and him and the Senator to talk about some of our concerns here in Barnstable. And attending the meeting with me was our Director of Finance, Mark Mill, and it was a very, very good discussion. One of the areas of concern, back when ed reform came into place in 1993, they put forward a funding formula, and a commission was established to review that funding formula. And lo and behold, the commission has not been meeting for the last several years. And as you can see, over the course of the last 5 to 10 years, escalating costs in special education, escalating costs with school choice, and a number of other areas, unfunded mandates, that there's been a lot of changes, and it's probably time that this commission be reinstituted and take a look at a more equitable funding formula for Chapter 70. And Senator Dan Wolf is basically looking to lead that charge, and a very, very good meeting with him, and we're going to continue to provide information and support in whatever way he needs.
You can hear more about that survey results as well as Dr. Chakowski's meeting with Senator Wolf when she joins us on Barnstable This Morning this coming Monday. Dr. Chakowski also led a discussion pertaining to the School Facilities Advisory Committee's work.
I'd just like to give an update on the School Facilities Advisory Committee. We met on February 29th, and the School Advisory Committee consists of James Amara, David Anthony, Jan Barton, myself, Joe Dugas, Frank Igliotti, Chris Joyce, Gareth Markwell, Noel Splain, Brooks Deitch, Peter Good, and James Cote. They were not able, James wasn't able to be at that meeting. Chris, I think, was not there as well. And Peter Good sat in for Brooks Deitch. But basically, we met and had a discussion of the Marston's Mills Elementary School and the surplus furniture. And David Anthony is here tonight, if he could come forward. He's put together an RFP timeline to give you an idea and a packet of some of the people that have been interested in looking at the property. In my short time that I've been here, we've showed it to, I think, either 2 or 3 different people. But I'd like him to give you sort of an overview of the history here with respect to this building.
Good evening. My name is David Anthony. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer for the town and for the school, and I've had the opportunity to be involved in the School Facility Advisory Committee from its inception, which goes back to when the former superintendent got together a group of people to try to deal with closing of schools and what to do with them. The packet that you have in front of you is essentially a 1-page summary of the RFP. The RFPs that we've done to kind of bring us to this point starting in the summer of 2009. I also included some information for those who might not be familiar with this school. And also included in there was a 2003 existing conditions report that was done from TAMS way back when. It just gives you a sense of the age of the school, the size of the school, the shape of the property. It's been a real challenge trying to find someone who was interested in taking on this school. And the school district's very fortunate in that originally in 2009, we weren't sure with 3 vacant properties if we were going to find anybody who was going to potentially lease any of them. with the idea that the school department could then retain that asset and have that for some potential expansion down the road, a new elementary school someday when 15 years from now demographics shift again. Hard to predict, but it's good to have that in the bank, if you will. So 2 out of the 3 are currently leased, which leaves us to Marston's Mills. And what you have there in some detail, I'll just summarize quickly. We went out twice with RFPs. The first time around, we got a lot of interest. We did a lot of tours. We had a lot of people come through, and we got essentially 2 proposals, and neither of them met even the bare minimums of what we were looking for at the time. So we turned to look internal, and we started to look and think about every idea that we could possibly think of. Relocation of school departments in there, town departments in there. We looked at maybe putting maintenance and transportation over there, but that was going to be some issues with the road. Main Street, not 28, but certainly 28 does pose its challenges with the high speed, the high speed that cars move. Now that there's a stoplight, it's a little bit better. But we met with churches, institutions of higher education to see if they could move in. We talked to Head Start. We considered reopening it as a preschool center. We looked at maybe even expanding technical vocations there. At one point, we even considered a flea market. I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to come up with some creative solutions. And the most recent RFP, we had a church and a private school that got together, and it seemed like a nice fit. You use the school for a school Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It could be used as a church. And unfortunately, they couldn't make that relationship work out. So the second RFP kind of came and went, and now we're stuck with an asset. That brings us to today. We have a school that is as challenged as it was in 2003. It requires a considerable amount of money to get it back up and running. As a school, if you wanted to open it back up now, we're reaching the end of that window when it can be reused as a school facility. And really, you've kind of reached a crossroads where it's almost time to decide what to do to move on. And the new superintendent had asked the School Facility Advisory Committee to kind of get together and talk about those issues. So that's pretty much what we've done in the past. I would say that we've put a lot of effort into trying to find someone to use this building as it is. So that's kind of where we are.
The School Facilities Advisory Committee did make a recommendation to declare it surplus to school needs at the February 29th meeting, and we had considerable discussion. Noel Splain is here, Jan Barton is here, Gareth is here as members of the committee, and at this point, you know, I had a discussion at my weekly meeting with the acting town manager, along with Gareth, and indicated that I would be bringing it forward to the school committee this evening. I spoke briefly with Mark Ells as well to make him aware of this. At this point right now, I know it's only for discussion and discussion purposes and not requiring you to take any action on it this evening, but it's one of the things that I think prior to the end of the school year, we should make a decision and take action on it.
The entire school committee meeting can be viewed online at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.